Thornfield had a master. It felt very lively. For my part, I liked it better. "This way, please."
"Let Miss Eyre be seated."
He doesn't look like he wants to speak. This is better for me. I wouldn't know how to respond to a polite reception. "Sir, when will my present arrive?"
"I will let you know when it arrives. For now, go and play with Pilot."
"Is there a present for Miss Eyre as well?"
"Miss Eyre, do you expect a present?"
"I am a stranger and have done nothing to entitle me to an acknowledgment."
"Don't fall back over on modesty."
"I have examined Adele,
and find you have taken great pains with her. In a short time she has made much improvement."
"Sir, you have given me my gift, for praise of their pupil's progress is what a teacher most covets."
"You've been a resident of my house for 3 months. Where did you come from?"
"From Lowood School."
"Ah, a charity school. How long were you there?"
"I entered at age 10 and was there for 8 years."
"So you are 18 now. Who are your parents?"
"I have none."
"Well, if you disown parents, you must have some sort of kinsfolk."
"None that I ever saw."
"Who recommended you come here?"
"I advertised, and Miss Fairfax answered."
"And I am daily thankful, for Miss Eyre has been an invaluable companion to me, and a kind and careful teacher to Adele." "I will judge for myself. She began by felling my horse. Now, what did you learn at Lowood? Can you play?"
"A little."
"That is the modest answer. Play for us now. If you please. Excuse my tone of command. I am used to giving orders." "Enough. You do play a little, but not well." "I've seen your sketches. They are excellent. I assume a master aided you?"
"No, indeed."
"Ah, that pricks pride. Fetch your portfolio, then, but I shall catch you out if you are lying."
"Then I shall say nothing, and you shall judge for yourself."
"Where did you get your copies, Miss Eyre?" "No crowding. I will let you see when I finish."
"From my head."
"For a schoolgirl, your paintings are very peculiar. Are you satisfied with the result of your labours?"
"Far from it. I am tormented by the contrast between my ideas and my handiwork. In each case, I imagined something which I was powerless to realize."
"Not quite. You have secured the shadow of your thought, if not more. They are quite elfish." "Huh? It is 9 o'clock. What are you about, Miss Eyre? To let Adele sit up so long? Take her to bed." Yes, go to bed now."
"You said Mr. Rochester was not peculiar, Mrs. Fairfax. I think he is very changeful and abrupt."
"Perhaps, but allowances must be made."
"Partly it is his nature, and partly because he has painful thoughts to harass him and make his spirits unequal. Family troubles, for one." "But he has no family." "Not now, but he did once. His father did not want to divide the estate, and Mr. Rochester was the younger son. To make his fortune, he was forced into a painful position by his father and brother, one that his spirit could not endure. He is not very forgiving. He broke with his family and has led an unsettled life. I don't think he has been resident at Thornfield for 2 weeks together since his elder brother's death. He finds it gloomy." For several days after, I saw little of Mr. Rochester, unless we met by chance in the hallway or stairs. Sometimes he would bow and smile like a gentleman. At other times he was haughty and cold. His changes of mood did not offend me, because I saw that I had nothing to do with them. Eventually, Adele's present was delivered, and Mr. Rochester asked me to bring her to see him. "This is so lovely."
"Draw your chair closer, Miss Eyre. I cannot see you without disturbing my own comfortable position."
He looks less stern and less gloomy than usual.
"You examine me, Miss Eyre. Do you think me handsome?"
"No, sir."
"Ah, by my word! There is something singular about you."
"Sir, I was too plain. I beg your pardon. I ought to have said that tastes differ, or that beauty is of little consequence. I don't want to hear such polite remarks. Under pretense of softening the previous outrage, you stick a sly penknife under my ear. Mr. Rochester, allow me to disown my first answer. It was only a blunder.
Well, go on. What fault do you find with me? Does my forehead not please you? Now, ma'am, am I a fool?
He has decidedly had too much wine.
I am disposed to be gregarious and communicative tonight. That is why I sent for you. Speak. Talk about whatever you like. I put my request in an absurd, almost insolent form. I beg your pardon. The fact is, I don't wish to treat you like an inferior. I claim only such superiority as must result from 20 years' difference in age and experience. Have the goodness to talk to me a little now and divert my thoughts. I am willing to amuse you if I can, but I do not know what will interest you. Ask me questions instead. Leaving superiority aside, will you agree to receive my orders now and then, without being piqued or hurt by my tone? I think there are few masters who would ask a paid subordinate such a question. Paid? Oh, yes, I had forgotten the salary. Well then, will you consent to dispense with conventional manners without thinking me insolent? I should never mistake informality for insolence. I rather like informality, but nothing freeborn would submit to insolence, even for a salary. Humbugs! Most things freeborn will submit to anything for a salary. You are frank and sincere, that is rare. Not 1 in 3,000 girls would have answered me the way you just did. Yet you may have intolerable defects to balance your few good points. And so may you. I have plenty of faults of my own. I know it. I was thrust on the wrong track at 21, and have never recovered the right course since. It has struck 9, sir. I must put Adele to bed. Adele is not ready for bed yet. Coquetry runs in her blood. She has yet to show off her new dress. Isn't it pretty? Ah, I want to dance. Sir, my mother danced like this, didn't she? Precisely. And like this, she charmed my gold right out of my pocket. My spring is gone, but it has left me that French floweret on my hands. I help her on the Roman Catholic principle of washing away sins, great and small, by one good work. Good night, Miss Eyre. Mr. Rochester did, on a future occasion, explain Adele's history. She's the daughter of a French opera singer, Céline Varens. I once cherished a grand passion for this lady. Ugly as I am, I became persuaded that she felt the same for me. I installed her in a luxury hotel and gave her servants, diamonds, and the like. In short, I began the process of ruining myself. I called one evening when Céline did not expect me. She was not home, so I decided to wait. I recognized the carriage I had given her, and was about to call her name, when a figure jumped from the carriage after her. You never felt jealousy, did you, Miss Eyre? Of course not, because you have never felt love. You have both sentiments still to experience. I like this day. I like that sky of steel. I like the stillness of the world under the frost. I like Thornfield, yet I hate it too. How long have I abhorred the very thought of it, and still do? During the moment I was silent, I was arranging a point with my destiny. She asked if I liked Thornfield. Destiny told me, like it if you can, like it if you dare. I told her I liked it, and I will dare. I will keep my word. I will break obstacles to happiness, to goodness. I wish to be a better man. Strange that I should choose you for my confidant, young lady. Strange that you should listen. You have a singular mind. It refreshes me. I remained where I was, and overheard their conversation. My name came up, and they insulted me coarsely. Céline made fun of what she called my deformities. Such a change from her usual compliments. How different you are. On our second meeting, you told me that you did not think me handsome.
Celine claimed that Adele was Mr. Rochester's child. For his part, Mr. Rochester does not believe this to be true. Still, when the girl was abandoned by her mother in Paris a few years later, Mr. Rochester took her in. By raising her well, he hopes to atone for his sins with her mother. Our relationship changed after this confession. I felt at times as if he were my relation rather than my master. He was imperious sometimes still, but I did not mind. I saw it as his way. I did not forget his faults, but I believed that he was naturally a man of better tendencies and higher principles, spoiled by some cruel cross of fate. An Englishman's passion for a French dancer and her treachery were everyday matters in society, no doubt, but there was something decidedly strange in the way he spoke, when he said he would like Thornfield again. His face, it has become the object I most like to see. I grieve for his grief, and would give much to ease his pain. Will he leave Thornfield again soon? If he does go, the change will be doleful. How joyless sunny days will seem. Who is there? Was that Grace Poole? Is she possessed with a devil to laugh so? Why has a candle been left here? The air is dim with smoke. I can smell something burning. Could it be? Mr. Rochester! Wake! Wake! There's not a moment to lose! The smoke has stupefied him. What shall I do? Douse the flames! Ah! I've drenched the fire, and him. Is there a flood? No, sir, but there's been a fire. Get up. Is that Jane Eyre? What have you done with me, elf? Witch? Have you plotted to drown me? Not I, but someone has plotted against you. I heard a strange laugh, so I investigated. I smelled the fire and followed it to your room. When you wouldn't awaken, I used the water to put out the flames. You cannot find out too soon who has done this. Shall I call Mrs. Fairfax for help? What can she do? Let her sleep. Then I will fetch Leah, and wake John and his wife. Not at all. Just be still. Here, take my cloak. I must pay a visit to the 3rd floor. Be still as a mouse until I return. Don't move, remember, or call anyone. He has been gone so long. Since I am not to rouse the house, I don't see the point of staying. Even if it angers him, I am going back to my own room. I found it all out. It is just as I thought. Did you see anything when you opened your chamber door? No, sir. Only the candlestick on the ground. But you heard an odd laugh. You have heard that laugh before, I think? Yes, sir. The servant Grace Poole laughs in that way. Just so. Grace Poole. You have guessed it. I am glad you are the only person who knows the details of tonight's incident. You are no talking fool. Say nothing about it. I will account for the state of affairs. Now return to your room. I shall rest on the sofa in the library tonight. Good night, then, sir. What? You are leaving me already, and in that way? You said I might go, sir. But not without a kind word. Why, you have saved my life, and you walk past me as if we were strangers. At least shake hands. You have saved my life. I have pleasure in owing you so immense a debt. I could not bear to be obligated so to any other person, but with you it is different. I feel no burden when owing you. A good night again, sir. There is no debt, burden, or obligation in any case. I knew you would do me some good in some way at some time. I saw it in your eyes when I first beheld you. Your expression and smile did not strike delight to my very inmost heart for nothing. My cherished preserver, good night. I am glad I happened to be awake. I must go now. What? You will go? I am cold, sir. Cold? Yes, and damp. Oh, go then, Jane, go. I think I hear Mrs. Fairfax moving about. Ah, well, leave me.